Welcome, beautiful soul family, to the meeting of our higher selves. That is what this really is. In the background there, you'll see that there are 7 separate readings. Those are just the face card of the reading. I will put numbers on them. You could choose by the number if you like. Also, I really am digging how Spirit's having me put them all together at first. When I put it out, it's like you'll find the description, in the description box, there'll be links to the readings, but then they're having me do them separate. And I really do believe that it's reaching the people it needs to reach. So I'm really excited about that. And thank you for your patience while the channel is changing and evolving. Welcome to the new subscribers. Thank you to those who keep coming back. You are the backbone of this tribe. Thank you. Also, today we have a theme from the beautiful Nelson Mandela. This was on my husband's tea, and right when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, if this isn't our theme today, I don't know what will be. Hold on, let me see if I can get this in there. It's hard because my camera's old and it doesn't really know where to look, and then the letters are kind of gold. So do you see that? Anyway, it says, it always seems impossible until it's done. Nelson Mandela. So we are in the 8th moon phase, the last moon phase of the Aquarian moon. We will soon be, I was going to say, they really want to be in the dark today because we're on the dark side of the moon, right? When I look down, it was 141, which is also the number 6, if that means anything to you guys. Also, on my screen is 5111. So any of those numbers, if they mean anything to you, that's showing me how much time is on my phone. So it's 51 and then semicolon 11. So it could even be, oh, I just realized that was number 6 and 6. Ooh, interesting. If you add that together, that would be 14, which is the number 5, which is change and transformation. So basically, we're going to get into these readings and we're going to find out what it is that did or didn't work for your intention for the moon cycle of the Aquarius moon cycle. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. And I love that Nelson Mandela spoke to us today because, number one, my gosh, if you don't know the story of Nelson Mandela, that is literally your homework. And if you have nothing to watch this weekend, watch everything you can on Nelson Mandela, from documentaries to, they actually did a movie with Morgan Freeman playing Nelson Mandela. These freedom fighters, they're there for a reason. They're there to teach us. They're there to, give us courage and inspire us to keep moving forward, even when it feels like we're maybe constantly on the dark side of the moon, right? Like, I've been feeling like that, and it's interesting whenever I start to feel like my fluff is gone, or like my zazzle, as Sheldon Cooper would say from The Big Bang Theory, zazzle. My zazzle, when it starts to disappear, I realize, I'll look at the moon cycle and I'm like, yep, that's why. That's why. Because it means something. And if you really are going with the moon cycles, especially for those moon babies, if you do not know what specific day of the week you were born on, investigate. Super easy. You just go into any search engine, you put in your birthday and the full year, and it'll tell you what day you were born on. And you can even look up the type of moon cycle that you were born in, right? So whether you're a full moon baby, waxing, my husband is a full moon baby. I'm a waxing gibbous, which totally makes sense to me too. But anyway, I digress. So these readings are really just to kind of like give us a little more insight to what has been going on with ourselves over this moon cycle, and maybe what we need to put into the next moon cycle, or maybe what we need to let go of just for now. Just for now. You know what I mean? Sometimes our dreams... I wasn't going to speak of this, but it just came through, so I feel like Spirit wants me to. Last night I couldn't sleep. I was up late and I was trolling, I guess, but not really. I was just like looking at things, and then I'd be called to look at the comments, or I'd go to write something to somebody to inspire them, And it's just amazing to me how many people want to drag other people down. It's really bizarre, especially strangers. It's like, you don't know that person. You know, if someone says they want to write a song for Pink, like that's their ultimate dream, their ultimate goal, which by the way, Pink's new album, Trustfall, is fucking amazing. I stayed up late. I couldn't sleep. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, her album came out. And it was like, there was just a few people who were like writing comments, you know, and it was interesting. Diehards probably like me who are like, you know, oh yeah, like that's what I listened to like the whole album pretty much. I think I got through all of them. But anyway, I digress again. But it was interesting just to see how, you know, somebody put something out there that their dream was to work with her and write a song for her. And I thought, that's so beautiful, you know? So I was going to write something like, yeah, hell yeah, man. Like, you go for that dream. And somebody else wrote something really nice. And then somebody else wrote something that really irked me. And what irked me about it was like the left-handed compliments I got as a child and when I was growing up too, or that kind of pat on the head. You know, they're like, hey, bestie, you know, yeah, you're not going to make it. Like, it's never going to happen for you. So, you know, just like do something else. And I'm like, what? I was like, you don't know this person. You don't know this person. And this term bestie, this like, you know, it's like this, it feels left-handed too sometimes, right? There's people who really say it, you know, like White Feather Tarot, when she says it, she's like, hi, my besties. Like, I feel like she totally means that, you know, and then there's other people are like that, where they're trying to say, hey, my friend, you know, hey, bestie, because, you know, that's the in terminology right now, whatever. And, yeah. And I was just like, listen, and I didn't like call them out. I just said, listen, there are going to be naysayers and there are going to be people who are going to tell you that you can't do something. I'm like, but don't you stop. I'm like, you keep going, you know, because, and I'm like starting to get emotional about it because I just thought that people don't have a right to squash your dreams. And if they do, it's because they don't have the fucking balls to do it themselves. And I know that's a little anger coming out. That's ego. That's my own shit. And I apologize to put that on you, but it really is. And sometimes we just got to be a little angry about it. You know, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already done. But they don't have a right. Nobody has a right to tell you who you are, right? And Nelson Mandela is saying it always seems impossible until it's done. Every person who did something miraculous, you know, I bet you there's 10 people behind them telling them that they couldn't do it. I literally was on my path the way it started when I was 23 because I used to talk about when I was in high school about moving to LA, you know, and I grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago, and I can go on and on and on, but just very stereotypical, you know, and I grew up in the 80s. So like think 16 Candles, all those movies, that was very real. That actually took place on the north side of Chicago. But that kind of shit took place on the south side of Chicago as well, where I grew up. And, you know, it was even that was like a big deal. They did this little thing where they would touch their nose up in the air and they're like, oh, they're north side, meaning they're a priss, like they're, they think they're too good for you, whatever. Or the south side, you know, it's kind of like the southeast of Boston. It was the same for Chicago, you know. We were like looked down upon, like the poor people lived south and the rich people lived north. Like this kind of bullshit, you know. I mean, it's like this north and the south, like with the Civil War. It's like there's always some war. There's always some entanglement. So if you didn't hit the mark this last moon cycle, that's okay. There's plenty more ahead. And if not, then you'll learn your lessons, you'll leave this life, and you'll do something, you know, similar to it again in the next one. This is an earth school. You don't have to get it right on the first try. And those who keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, eventually you're going to hit it. And it doesn't mean that Spirit's saying give up your dream. They're just saying, you know, don't give up your day job right away if you don't have something else like that you're willing to put your all into. You know, when I really was like, I didn't know what to do with my life. And even though I made really good money being a bartender and a server of fine dining, the real reality of it was when people kept saying, you know, eventually you're not going to want to do this. Well, I had friends that were in their 50s that were still doing it and good shape and everything. And I was like, I could do this for another. I'm like, if I got really smart, I can open my own place, or, you know, and I was getting kind of sassy. But then you know what? It kept coming to me about going back to school. And then I finally was called to do it. And I went to college, 91. Also, it's 9-10. It could also be the number 10, completion. Take off the 0. It's new beginnings. So, you know, I did it. And I followed my dream to be a fashion designer because I loved fashion so much. I loved being a wardrobe stylist more than actually making the clothes. I loved playing with like human Barbies. Like that was like my favorite thing. But at the same time, I had always dreamed of making my own clothes, and my mom made my clothes when I was growing up as a kid. And so, you know, I thought, maybe this is my calling. Maybe this is my destiny. And I wouldn't change it for anything because that led me here. But when I was in my early 20s, my whole family and friends were kind of like, you know, you're never going to move. If you haven't moved by now, you're not going to move to LA. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I just don't know when. Or they're like, okay. And then finally I got so tired of it. I was like, yeah, watch me. And in 6 months, I took on another job. I had a Monday through Friday job, a very serious job, like a salaried job. And I took on a job being a server at night. And I busted my balls. I was 23 and I busted my balls for 6 fucking months. And you know what? June 10th, I moved to Los Angeles, June 10th, 1995. And from there, I have lived in 5 different states. Over my lifetime, I've moved nearly 30 times. So, you know, that's my life. This is my story, right? Like, that's the gypsy, that's what the life college brought for me to learn and bring, you know, to absorb like a sponge, all of these things so that I can bring them to you right now at the age of 51, which is interesting because I just looked down and I was like 5111. Remember I said at the beginning, I didn't know it was going to be my age, but also that I'm an angel, right? I'm an earth angel. And most likely you are too. If you found yourself here, you're a light worker, spirit warrior of some kind. You may not be an earth angel, but you're some type of, you know, you come from this realm, that realm, whatever you believe in, you know, it's all different for everybody. They're just labels and terminology. It's all the same place for all the same person. But it's expansive and it's exciting. And I want you to be excited about life. You know, I'm going through my own stuff too. And I feel like that. I feel like every time I hit some, you know, beautiful thing, I'm like, what now? I'm like, why is this happening? Why is that happening? And Spirit's saying, because it's all part of the process. Great song by Morcheeba. If you want to get into a new band, Morcheeba, M-O-R-C-H-E-E-B as in boy, A. It's all part of the process, right? We all love looking down. All we want is some respect, but something is never around. Yeah, so it's hard and we feel beat down, you know? We feel beat down. But at the same time, it's the end of the moon cycle, so just let yourself be and let yourself rest. And whenever you watch this, it's timeless, of course. But maybe you're just feeling beat down and it's, you know, in the full moon. Maybe it's whatever. It's different for everybody. And not everybody flows on the moon cycles. Okay? So here before you are 7 different stories, 7 different readings. Maybe you're pulled to all of them. Maybe you're pulled to 1, 2, whatever it is. Maybe it's the number. Maybe it's the color. I don't know if they're going to have me put a filter. They didn't have me record it with a filter, but I don't know if they're going to have me upload it with a filter. They may or may not. So it's really, you know, and it could be the numbers, and I'll put the numbers like on them on the cover photo. But whatever it is, you know, just know that you're not alone, and you have people like Nelson Mandela who's gone back, you know, to the angels on your side, and that you can do anything you put your mind to and achieve it. It just may take a few more moon cycles than you thought it was going to take. And look at that. Look at how the sun's coming in. Look at that. Look at that. The trees are waving. I feel like that's Spirit waving to you. Do you see that? That's beautiful. Oh, I got the chills. Spirit's waving to you, saying they love you so much. They're so proud of you. Keep going. And when you want to slow down, okay? Don't put yourself balls to the wall. You know, it's interesting. I've been recording like crazy the last week, and last night I was like, how come you haven't had me posting stuff the last few days? They're like, oh, you will be. They're like, trust me. They're like, you will be. But I'm just going to be like posting a few things at a time. Can you hear I'm losing my voice? That's it. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't have to actually work until the new moon in Pisces on Monday, which, by the way, we're almost, today's the last day. Oh, yes. Thank you, Aquarius season. Thank you, Spirit. Today's the last day of Aquarius season air, starting tomorrow on the 18th. In real time, today is February 17th, 2023. I didn't add them together. I didn't even bring my calendar down. I've lately been like not needing or using my calendar as much as I used to, which is really interesting. But safe travels to Lori and Zoe. They are heading to Georgia. They're going to Savannah, and they're going to have a good time. They both were drawn to that area. So they're both light workers, powerful angels. I'm excited to see what happens for them there. I will be seeing them hopefully next week when they come back from their trip. So yeah, so that's it. And thank you all for being here. Tomorrow is the first day of Pisces season. So last day of air, tomorrow is water. Let your body transition through this. Interesting that we have this transitional period because today is the waning crescent energy. And then, last day of Aquarius, tomorrow is Pisces season, and then I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I do know that Monday is the new moon in Pisces. It's also on a moon day, on a Monday, so stay tuned for that reading. I don't know what that's going to be like. You know, I never do. It's so awesome, so fun and exciting. But I hope you're enjoying this channel and the way it's evolving, and also Lula's Life. Thank you for supporting me over there. I've also been recording content for that. I've been doing funny little videos, and Alder has been part of it. It's been fun. It's just been like, we're like a comedy team without trying to be a comedy team. You know what I mean? You'll see the videos if you watch them. I'm putting them out. I'm putting out a lot of fun stuff this weekend, so stay tuned. And yeah, until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you over at your reading. I love you so much. Blessed be. Oh.